Hello and welcome to this live stream of Mad About Sports here. And today's video, we are going to be talking about India versus the USA. Now, for all that you know, this is going to be a game of interesting battles because on one end you have the Indian national cricket team who has won two games in a trot, defeating the arch rivals Pakistan, and they have defeated Ireland, and they're on the cusp of qualifying. Same for USA. USA are the table toppers at this point of stage in the tournament in this particular group. And USA, if they qualify, they are through to the Super 8 as well. So this is more like a qualifier into the Super 8. Both the teams will be knowing that a win here will secure it. Now, India travels to Florida to play Canada in their last encounter, and USA also travels to play Ireland in the last encounter in Florida. So this is the last leg of the New York leg of their games. Now, if you are joining new here, I urge you all to check out our course with Matt about sports and cricket analytics. If you are into numbers and if you really want to make a real big career out of something in cricket analytics, this is your opportunity to check it out with Matt About Sports. Without further ado, click the link in the description and check the course out because this is your opportunity. And yeah, let's get straight into today's video. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this particular game. First and foremost, where do we see things happen? Right. I mean, the most interesting question is how do you see the teams line up for a game like this? Because on one end of the spectrum, you have an Indian team who's full of confidence after defeating the Pakistan team in a very important game. And the other end of the spectrum, you have USA, who's been the major talking point of this tournament. I mean, yes, they are the host nation and they have got a lot of support coming in as well from all across the world because people have been truly impressed with the kind of cricket the USA national cricket team has played. It's not often that the cricket like sport gets popular in USA because of multiple reasons. Firstly, uh, let's be honest, it's not the sport they're used to in the USA. So the public is still getting used to the hang of things, what's happening in the USA, and it's rather I would say it's a beautiful thing to see how people have been able to perceive the sport, how people have been able to take the sport in its own stride. But let's talk about this game in depth. What can we expect out of this game? On one end of the spectrum, as I mentioned, you have this Indian cricket team who's got some excellent performers, especially Jasprit Bumrah, two man of the matches in two games. That's an incredible stat to have. If you are a bowler, if you really want to make a mark, this is the way to make a mark. Announcing that you are the best bowler in the world. I mean, he's been cut above the rest. Yes, he's picked up a total of 5 wickets in the two games. But the fact here is, more than the 5 wickets, the impact he's had in those wickets he's picked up, in the bowling performance he's had, he's been cut above the rest in two innings combined. And when you talk about the bowlers from the opposition and in his own team, he's been cut above the rest. And in the last game, you saw several good bowlers take part in it: Amir, Shaheen, Naseem, Siraj, Arshdeep. But Bumrah was the best because that's where he's been cut above the rest in terms of his bowling performance. And regardless of the pitch he performs, he's been able to make an impact. And that's where Indian team will feel blessed that they have someone like a Jasprit Bumrah in their team. Now, a lot of you viewers will be thinking about how do you go about this match? What eyes do you see this game? Now, for India, the equation is very simple: win today, go to the Super 8, and then maybe they can afford to try out some players in the next game. Now, do you see India making changes in this game? Is a question which a lot of people will be having in their mind because uh, considering the fact that India have won two games in two, they wouldn't want to make a change, especially against a good team like USA. And let's not discount USA that they're an associate nation. I think India will have a bigger challenge than Pakistan and Ireland in a game like this because remember, USA are coming into this game with a lot of confidence, and especially player like Aaron Jones, or for that matter, even the likes of Monan Patel, and even Goose, and for that matter, every bowler they've got Harpreet, or even Kenjinge, and even Mom Ali Khan, right? These lads have been in good form. They are feeling that they can create a victory for themselves. And in that pitch in New York, funny things have happened. I mean, over the last three games, especially okay, maybe yesterday's game was quite a predictable result, but other than that, funny things have happened. You saw the India Pakistan game, the South Africa Bangladesh game. Hundreds looks like a big score there. 115 is a excellent score. So That wicket in USA, funny things can happen. And considering the bowling line of USA have got at this point with Netravalkar, sort of Netravalkar, the talking guy, right? The blue-eyed boy of this year's World Cup. Uh, that is exactly where you know that's exactly where things can go, and that's where exactly where things can be right for them. Uh, yeah. Uh, so so exactly when it comes to when it comes to this particular team, one thing is sure from the USA national cricket team. They are here to make things in their own way. They can make an impact in terms of uh, in terms of the way in which they are put out in the field. The most important players for the USA national team, especially in tonight's game, uh, is going to be the Aaron Jones is going to be one player, and another player is going to be certainly Monang Patel, because Monang Patel was in good form in the last game. Obviously, Saurabh Netravalkar could make an impact with the ball, because you've seen the Indian batters struggle against seamers up front, and in the last couple of games especially. And someone like Saurabh Netravalkar, the way in which he's bowled in this tournament, and with that pitch in New York, you would expect him to do well. I think one player, if you want to really pick, if you want to really be wary of from the USA team, it's going to be Ali Khan. Why I'm picking Ali Khan is because the length he hits, the kind of pace he can generate in that pitch in New York is going to come in extremely handy. Now, that pitch in New York has got invariable bounce, and on top of that, that pitch in New York has also got a very weird ball coming onto the bat pretty slow there. So, how can things go from there, right? Now, if you're a batter going into that wicket in New York, you are unsure of if a ball is bowling exceed 140, you're unsure of what kind of ball takes place. Is it going to jump off a surface? Is it going to stay low? And that is why a bowler with an express pace like what Mohammad Ali Khan is, he's going to be a certain X factor in tonight's game. He's got a slingy action. He can be extremely exponential in that wicket. He's got that ball to climb up as well in Dallas. We saw that in a couple of occasions, though he went for a few runs in the death overs, but his primary skill, which is to hit the deck hard, that's going to be interesting to see. And also with him, let's not discount on the left arm spinners of Kenjige and Harpreet Singh. Harpreet Singh, we all know, a teammate of former Unmuk Chand, and he's been an under-19 World Cup player. Uh, Harpreet Singh has been in good form. The way in which he's been slowing the ball down in the air, he's been extremely effective against the batters. And in that wicket where the ball is also aiding turn, you saw Imad Wasim extract a lot of turn yesterday, and you also saw the likes of Akshar Patel get the ball to bounce of awkward lengths. And in the game against South Africa, Bangladesh, you saw Keshav Maharaj ball pretty well, and Shakib also ball decently well on that wicket. So what you can expect out of that wicket is primarily the left arm spinners coming good, and Indian batters, especially Rishabh Pant, like so Shivam Dubey, they will have a job to do, because they are picked in this team to counter threats of leg spin and left arm spin, who the teams have used against India in the recent past. If you look at the way in which how the teams like New Zealand, how teams like England have tried to control India, they've used Sandner, Adil Rashid to control India with leg spin and left arm spin. That's why you have a Rishabh Pant and a Shivam Dubey particularly picked, are looking at the larger context of the tournament to counter these kind of threats. And that's where I think you would need to use a Rishabh Pant extremely well against a left arm spin today. Now, I think Indian batters should take a leaf out of how Johnson played last evening for Canada. I mean, most of the shots were down the ground. And in this wicket, one thing is what we have seen is the batters who have taken that extra risk down the ground has always gotten something out of the wicket. Now, why? Because down the ground, it's much more easier. The risk is much more lesser compared to playing a cross-batted shot. Playing a cross-batted shot in a pitch like New York, where the ball is up and down, can cause a lot of issues. And that's something which I've seen in this tournament thus far and going ahead as well. I mean, one prediction I would like to make is batters who play down the ground today, especially batters who are ready to take their time and who's extremely good down on their way, like so Virat Kohli, likes of even to an extent, I would say, I would like to mention somewhere here Rohit Sharma, but then Virat Kohli is the only batter who comes to my mind when it comes to down the ground exploits in this team. And Rishabh Pant is a very good exponent down the ground as well. So Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant have a good chance of succeeding in tonight's game, because I think Virat Kohli will be due of runs, and he's someone who wouldn't want to miss out on the third opportunity. Obviously, the pitch has been hard, and you need a certain bit of luck as well to succeed in this wicket. And Virat Kohli hasn't had that. Two of the occasions tried to cut the ball, both of the occasions, one to the third man, one to the short point. So Virat Kohli would be knowing that his dismissals have not been bowler's excellence, but his own undoing of himself. So Virat Kohli will be a batter to watch out for, and he would exactly know how to go about in this pitch. He would want to pick up those doubles. He would be know that he would want to go back to the Virat Kohli of past. Let's put the strike rate thing for behind for a moment. Let's go back to the Virat Kohli who likes to operate in terms of controlling the game, because that's exactly the batter we want in a pitch like this. Because if India bat first, and if India scores somewhere around 140, that would be an excellent score on this wicket. Because remember in the last game as well, India were well on course to score 145 to 150, because the start India got 80 runs in 10 overs, possibly one of the best starts in this tournament at the end of 10 overs in New York. So for India, they would be knowing that they would have to capitalize on that last 10 overs with the bat, and also they would want to know how to really bat out on this pitch, because the hardest thing in this wicket is to really find what's an ideal score. If you look at the score, if you look at the score, the score has been uh, the scores have been around 150 to 110 to 120. When you talk about 150 to 160 in this tournament, that's been the average score of this tournament, 150 to 160. Now, the entire tournament has 150 to 160 as an average score, and New York has an average score of 112. You would know that you would know that the most important thing over here is to control the game very well. And for India, they would know that if they can score around 114, 120, 125, they would be in the game for sure. But still, there's an element of risk, because it's just one good innings away. And though you have a Jasprit Bumrah and Arshdeep Singh, you have one good inning from the other end, the game is done and dusted. So India, if they're batting first, they should be extremely wary of how much they score. 140 should be the ideal target, nothing more than 140, because it's the pitch again is going to do the best for the bowlers. And if you're going to get overcast conditions, you would want to ball and make the most out of it. You saw that against Pakistan and India. Pakistan got a lot of lateral movement, whereas India really struggled to get lateral movement. So in today's game, I'm expecting even someone like an Arshdeep Singh to come good again. If India bowling first, Arshdeep Singh is going to be certainly someone to watch out for, because what Arshdeep Singh can do today is, if the ball is going to seam around a little bit, he's going to be extremely exponential on these conditions. And at the same time, let's see how Indian bowlers are going to operate as a group. Now, I don't see any change from India's POV. People are demanding for Shivam Dube's spot. I don't see India doing that, because India have entrusted Shivam Dube. It's not looking at the New York phase of the tournament. India is looking at the larger context of the tournament, because India will be playing games in West Indies where the ball is going to turn a little bit, and you would need a batter who can take on the spin, and that's why Shivam Dube is there in the team. I don't think Shivam Dube. You don't need to necessarily expect Shivam Dube to succeed even today. If he succeeds, well and good. If not, don't be surprised, because this is not the pitch for Shivam Dube, to be fairly speaking, because Shivam Dube has gotten success on flatter wickets. Shivam Dube has gotten success on slightly slower wickets in compared to anywhere else. So for Shivam Dube to have success on a wicket where the ball seams around and invariable bounce, where the seamers are there in the game, I don't expect him to have any success at all. But if he has success, it's a bonus for India. But for me, I want to see one player doing really well. That is Surya Kumar Yadav. Why? Because see, the element which Surya Kumar Yadav carries in this T20 team is that he's the best batter in the team. Now, people around him are talking that he's the best batter in the team. So it's about time he delivers. And if Surya Kumar Yadav delivers here, it's going to be a lot of confidence for India. But then he's been found out in the recent past, right? You take the pace off for Surya Kumar Yadav and he struggles to create shots. And in a wicket where it's stopping slightly, Surya Kumar Yadav has found it slightly more difficult to score runs. He's been extremely good on flatter wickets. He's been good on wickets where the bounce has been good. But on wickets where the ball is stopped a little bit, has not really come onto the bat, he's found it extremely difficult. And I again worry if Surya Kumar Yadav is the right man for this team, for this wicket. In my ideal opinion, we would love to see someone like a Sanju Samson in this team. Why? Number one, you would want to see Sanju Samson play for Shivam Dube, at least for this New York leg and the US leg of the tournament. See how he goes about it. If he goes about it well and good, because he can come into bat number 4, number 5. Because in the last game, you promoted someone like an Akshar Patel at 4. Now, that did not make any sense at the end of the day, because Akshar Patel is not a bona fide batter. Now, if you are promoting Akshar Patel because you want to save Surya Kumar Yadav and Shivam Dube, might as well play Sanju Samson, because he's much more equipped to go out there and score runs rather than having a rather than playing in a promoting a batter from number 8. Yeah, Akshar Patel did a good job in terms of playing that cameo, but let's be honest, we're not expecting that from our premier batters. If you're a world number one batter, cannot go out there at that point of stage to take on the bowling, and I'm sorry to say that that is not the right way you should be termed as a world number one T20 batter. And Suryakumar Yadav, for all that we know, hasn't been in best of forms. And even from the IPL post his injury, Suryakumar Yadav has found it extremely difficult. So here is an opportunity for Suryakumar Yadav to come out good and tell the critics out there in the world that, see, I am the world number one batter for a reason. People trust in me. I can perform regardless of the pitch. Now, the only innings I remember from Surya Kumar Yadav on a tough wicket was the innings he played in Australia in 2022 in the World Cup against South Africa, which certainly wasn't a losing cause, but at least that showed that he can play in tough situations in a big game. But other than that, you can remind me. I don't remember any knock which Surya Kumar Yadav has played, which makes me think, oh wow, Surya Kumar Yadav has arrived in the stage and he's here to take on the world. Now that is where Indian team would be extremely concerned about Surya Kumar Yadav and Shivam Dube's form. Now Hardik Pandya, I would love to see him bat number 5 for this team. Now that's where I'm a little concerned about how Indian team's batting order worked in the last game. Yes, Rohit Sharma did come out saying that he wants his batting order to be flexible of sorts, but in all honesty, that what we've seen is the flexibility factor for the Indian team hasn't quite worked well. Now, if you're not giving Shivam Dube the right batting role, maybe you can give Rishabh Pant, because Rishabh Pant is the only batter who's been assured that he's going to be batting at 3, and with Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma opening the batting. Now, biggest question is Rohit and Virat had 2 failures now, especially as an opening pair. I mean, Rohit scored a 50, but as an opening pair, they've had 2 failures. And if you look at all the World Cups in the last couple of years, the last 2 T20 World Cups, our biggest issue has been our opening pair failures. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't done well in the T20 World Cup. So now you have put your best player, Virat Kohli, up top to open the batting. And he has also not delivered in the 2 games. Now, is that a point of concern for India? Yes, of course, it is a point of concern for India that Virat Kohli has not performed in the last 2 games. But, you expect him to come good. And at least, if not in this game, he will come good in the due course of the tournament. Now that you've stuck with this opening pair, you continue with this opening pair. Now it's not the right time to bring in a Yashasvi Jaiswal to compensate the 2 failures. Then you're panicking. You just go in with what you've done well. Yes, you only scored 120, but your mindset was great. Now, in one thing you have to give credit to the Indian team is that regardless of how they went down fighting. They tried to score runs almost in every ball that mattered.